The use of cassava can be described as a self-spreading innovation. Currently, about half of the world production of cassava is in Africa. Cassava is cultivated in around 40 African countries, which about 70% of Africa's cassava output is harvested in Nigeria. Throughout the transition geographical zones, cassava is Africa's second most important staple food in terms of per capita calories consumed. In some countries, cassava is consumed daily and sometimes more than once a day to the average diet, and many families eat cassava for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Without question, cassava holds great promise for feeding Africa's growing population. It can be produced with family labor, land, hoe, and machetes, making it attractive and low-risk crop for poor farmers.
Well, after the harvesting, this is what we have, and it's still on the process of making the oil out of cassava. Now, this process is the peeling process. As you can see, we are peeling out the pellets out of the real cassava, and the pellets can be used for so many things. One of its outstanding uses, you can use it to raise your animals like goats, but as it is, you cannot give it to goats today because the xynogen in it will actually kill it. So you have to keep it after today. Tomorrow you can give it to your goat. And another method of using the pellets is you can use it on your farm. It will make your fruit or your plants to be an outstanding one. It grows very fast. You can also use it as manure in your plantain and your banana. Yes. And why is it necessary that one must peel out the pellet out of cassava? It is because you cannot use it the way it is. It will change the color of your garri of food. And even if you don't wash it out, the sun in it will actually affect your food processing to be something different. It will affect your taste of food.
Technically, cassava transformation is from food crop to raw materials for livestock feed and industrial use in order to raise farm income. Traditionally, the roots are processed and prepared as a subsistence in village markets and shipment to urban centers for commercial production. In the production trends, one of the critical variables in the expansion of the cassava area is the availability of improved processing equipment to remove water from the roots, since the root is about 70% water content and reduces cost of transportation, improved processing, and food preparation methods. In agronomic practices, there are three main fallow systems in Nigeria, which are long fallow, short fallow, and continuous cultivation. According to a collaborative study of cassava in Africa Research, farmers now produce cassava under the short fallow system because of the cassava's long growth period, and can be intercropped with grains such as maize, millet, etc. The main source of cassava planting materials is from the farmer's field, and sometimes cassava marketing middle person. Some farmers who produce cassava as cash crops plant healthy-looking cotton from plants not older than 12 months.
Before you plant, you have to look for the different varieties, the particular varieties that will thrive well in that particular farm. So assemble the cottons that we are going to plant. Like in this farm that you have now, there are different varieties. About 3 varieties is what you have here. Then this particular one, we call it vitamin A or yellow roots. Then this particular one that we have here, it is called CMS 2101, tropical manifold species. Another variety we have in this farm is what we call CMS 419. People normally call it give me chance. For you to have a good harvest, you have to give them enough space. And this one can also have different branching, as you can see here. Like this one, we have, this is the first branching, and this is second branching. It can also grow and have up to 5th branching. And before you plant, you have to cut your cassava stem in such a way that it's 1 centimeter. And while planting, we have to be careful so you will not turn it upside down. Because if you turn it upside down, it will not thrive well. Because this is where the roots will come from. And while planting, make sure that the distance between one cassava stem and the other, there's what we call distance within and the distance between. Like this one, we call it distance between. This one and this one is distance between. Then we move down here from this one to this one is distance within. So each distance, as you can see, is 1 meter by 1 meter.
The cassava plant density is an important agronomic consideration because it's positively correlated with the cassava yield, and the recommended spacing is 1 meter by 1 meter, which is equivalent to a plant density of 10,000 tons per hectare. In the planting season, ideally, cassava does not have a critical planting depth as long as there is enough moisture of planting for rooting to commence.
After site selection, the next thing we do is land preparation. Land preparation has to do with removal of all debris like grasses. You stomp the land. You can use a mechanical method like machinery to stomp the land, then clear the land, making the land set ready for planting. If you want to plant on ridges, you can set up a ridge or a bed or a mold. Then after the land preparation, the next thing is procuring of inputs. You have to cut the cassava stem, making it to be ready. If it is in a seed, you have to make the seed ready. After you might have procured your input. Then after you might have procured all those things, the next thing you are going to do is planting. You excavate the land if you are going to plant it on the flat. But if you want to plant it on ridges, you just insert the cassava stem such that the node end will be on top, will face up. Then while the antinode will face down. You have to weed it. The weed will not compete nutrients with the plants.
Natural depth of planting is determined by the arrival of rainy season. In West Africa, cassava is planted at the beginning of the rainy season, February to March, and to the end of rainy season, October to November. In the production and harvesting, considerably, cassava is reputed to be a crop that requires relatively low labor input for production. However, COSCA research confirmed that this conventional wisdom is valid only when cassava is produced as a farming research crop. Nevertheless, all the field tasks for cassava production are done manually using simple implements such as hand hoes and cutlass. In fact, the harvesting of cassava is the most labor-intensive field task in Nigeria, where the tropical manihot species varieties and improved agronomic practices have boosted yield by 40%. To this end, cassava processing in Africa are of 5 common groups. These are fresh roots, dried roots, pasty products, granulated products, and cassava leaves.
This is what we call African salad in our It's one of the African ways of teaching your children what our fathers used to eat then. This type of cassava we are eating is very different from the normal cassava. We call this one jumbo jumbo because it is delicious. It tastes like yams. And there are some you eat and the thing will intoxicate you. And aside that, you can see how we share it, we use it with oil. In this oil we have onions, pepper, salt, maggi, and some people prefer putting crayfish. It all depends on how you want it to be. It is delicious. Apart from eating it as a delicious meal, it is very nutritious.
The fresh roots of sweet cassava variety are eaten raw, roasted in an open fire, boiled in water or oil, The cyanogens in the roots are destroyed by slowly cooking the roots. In addition, the dried cassava roots are stored or marketed as chips, balls, and flour. Chips and balls are milled into flour and honed by pounding with pestle or mortar in preparation for meal. Similarly, in the case of fermented dried cassava roots, the fermentation is accomplished in one or two ways: stacking in heaps or soaking in water for a number of days. The fermentation process, whether in water or in heaps, influences the taste of the final product. The longer the fermentation period, the stronger the taste. Importantly, the recent introduction of a grater has eliminated stacking and fermentation as it saves time. Thereafter, the roots are simply peeled, washed, and grated. The bulb is placed in a perforated container, covered, and the weights put on it for about 3 hours, or the use of hydraulic press. Then the cyanogen are squeezed out along with leaflets.
This is where it is being grated, the cassava. Like from where I was washing it, it is now brought here to be grated, and it is now here that it will be pressed into finishing product that will be fufu.
The pulp products now can be sieved or pulverized. Then after that stage, we can now press it on an heavy object or using hydraulic press to express the water.
In some cases, the utilization of cassava roots are very systematical. The granulated products are commonly done by collecting the fresh cassava roots, peeled, washed, and grated. The resulting pulp is put in a spiral sack, weighted down with heavy objects or hydraulic press to express effluent while it's fermenting. More so, the dewatered and fermented lump or pulp is pulverized and sieved, and then the resulting semi-dry fine pulp is toasted in the pan in addition with palm oil to reduce cyanogen to a safe level. Consumably, cassava leaves are edible and more convenient food product than fresh roots. It is storable in dry form since they have low water content and less expensive. It has nutritive value similar to other dark green leaves and are extremely valuable sources of vitamin A, carotene and C, iron, calcium, and protein.